Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler. I want to welcome you all back to the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2021. Thank you guys so very much for being with me today and each day on our journey. Our tangle today is going to be What the Well. It is a great tangle by JODY Genovese CZT and friend. And let's get started. This tangle is based on the tangle well, hence the name. And what she says in Tangle Patterns on the article about this, Jody says that she was playing with Weifel Power, that is by Shoshi. And we have done a video, I think I did a video on that one last year. And it is a fun interwoven type of a pattern like this one. And she came up with this. This is her version of Weifel Power in a square grid. Now, immediately when I drew this, I discovered a big issue, and that is how we get all of these lines to match up correctly all the way around here. And it's not easy, okay? But I think that I have come up with a way to draw it that is going to be much simpler for you, okay? So we're going to take a piece of this and see what we can do with it, all right? So the explanation begins on this, okay? The pattern well it is based on a square grid. Okay. And what you do in well is you put a big dot in the middle of your square. Okay. And then you take, this is connecting each of the corners, and I think I may have explained this because we did something else that was sort of well related. But what you do is you're going to connect this dot with each of these corners, okay? And so in the pattern well, you do that with it's a slightly curved line, and you're going to go in opposite directions. So since this one, and you can do this either way, okay? If you want to do this connect this from this side, you know, you can do that, okay? Just take off and land, right? But it doesn't matter. You're going to do opposites to each corner, okay? This way to this corner, this way to this corner. All right? How do you know? Because you can't cross the line here. You don't want to cross the line. You put a slight curve in them, okay? Now, in the way this is set up, is for you to turn your well opposite, okay? So that you're doing the same thing in mirrored form, okay? So in this case, so this one should not be this way. This should go this way. And look, these two are making the same curve together, right? And so this would go this way, this way, this way. And you have this cool meta pattern, right? Well, okay. So this is what Jody has stepped out, okay? And in the pattern, these dots are your well, right? And if you'll look here, this well is going over here, and here's the opposite, like this, see? And this one over here is doing the opposite, and they're meeting up here, and we've got this extra bit. All right? So let me show you. Now, the problem with this was when people started to draw it, was that we would get these well strokes made, and then this one would be one place, then this one would be another, and they wouldn't match. All right. And so then Linda Farmer, in her article about this, said, well, what if you just drew these things in first and then matched up your dots? Okay, that was a really good idea on Linda's part, and so that's sort of kind of an approach that we're going to use, but I have modified it even further so it'll be even easier. Okay, so let me grab a tile. I am going to start by penciling in a square grid. Okay, I'm going to try to make it dark enough so that everyone can see it, but just understand that normally I would do this quite small. All right, so I'm going to pencil in a square border, or as square as I can get it. Let me see if this is dark enough for you. I think it will be. I think it will be. Okay, and now I'm going to put in a square grid. I do it my way. How's everybody today? It is a sunny day in Oklahoma, and yesterday we had a pipe burst in our garage, so we had a very expensive Sunday plumber out today, and we were lucky to have him, because it's like this all over our region. Texas is worse. Those poor people down there have my heart. Everybody that I love in Texas down there, you guys, please be careful with yourselves. Take care. Make sure you're boiling your water and all of that good stuff. All right. Now, this grid doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't need to use a straight edge, but you can if that's what makes you happy. If you want this to be, you know, perfect, then you can. Now, another thing that I did on this one, because I did want it to be perfect, was that I put in my square grid, I put a cross through. So a penciled cross like this. Yeah. And so, or an X, I should say, would be more precise. And then I would know exactly where to put my midpoint. Now, I have since discovered that this is not necessary for me. And if those of you who are great with dot grids can get an even squared up dot grid, then you don't need this penciled thing. But for me, I have trouble getting my dots to line up in square grids. And so if that is an issue that you have, then you definitely want to put an X in there, and that's going to help you keep it in the right place, okay? So in the center of each of these, I'm just going to leave these orbs as is. I am going to put an orb. And again, I'm going to try my best to get it in the center of the box. Let's not get too big with these. Now again, you only need the square grid if you are going to need help with placing these dots. If you can get them all in a line, lined up both ways, then you're a better person than me, or at least you are a more efficient person than me. Okay, so I've got my mini sized dots in here. All right, so instead of worrying about all of this stuff that's going to go on, let's approach this tangle like this. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to start with our well stroke like we did just now, okay? But we're going to put something here before we start it, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dot in immediately above this a little dot, okay? Then I am going to slightly curve this like this, okay? You don't have to use the dots. It's going to help me to get everything in the right place and even, all right? So now what do? Now we're going to make our first well stroke, okay? So we're going to come here and go up here. And you can decide how, you don't want to go to the corner, you won't have anything up there. But you can decide how narrow or wide you want this to be. Okay? So we're going to do something similar to this, and it won't have to be perfect despite what you might think. Now, I really went beyond here and need something much shorter. I'm just going to pretend those aren't so long. So that was important to me. Now, what I could have done was curve these up really close to the edges, which is what I should have done. So, okay. All right. So now what do I want you to do? Well, let's do this again over here. And I'm going to draw this differently over here. I'm going to put in my dots. I'm still going to use a long one. All right. So now I'm going to do it like this. Okay. And then we're going to put these little triangular dark spots. And if it's bigger, it's okay. All right. It's a little weird. I might extend this one a little bit, so that guy doesn't look so lonely. All right. We'll fix this one. Don't worry. Don't worry. All right. So now we're going to go down to this next row, and we're going to do the opposite too. Okay. So we're going to put this same line. I'm going to put my dots again. And you don't, by the way, you don't have to make this as long. You could put your dots over here and really make these skinny. It's really entirely a matter of your own choice. Right? Okay. All right, let's keep going. This row is going to be the same as the top row, and I'm going to do it better this time. And I did do it better this time, didn't I? Yeah. All right, let's skip over here and do it again. Okay. And then here. Yeah, and then again down here. So I'm going to start up here on this top row again, and I'm going to come here where I've got this line, and I'm going to put my dots. And I'm going to want these to match up with the ends of this. Now this is pretty skinny, And you can do some adjusting there. If we had brought this down a little bit further, I think that would be easy. But again, this is something you're going to have to play with and sort of figure out. And then, of course, I didn't do the best job here with this, but I think it's close enough. Now, this one got crazy, but I'm going to show you it's not going to matter. So this is where we're at. Now let's skip down to this row and repeat. I'm going to put my dots. Make my well stroke so that it matches the other side. And arrow in. Okay. I'm going to do the same. Repeat, repeat. Try to make sure I know where I'm going before I start driving, huh? All right. Okay. So it doesn't look like much yet, but we're getting there. So let's go down here and do this one. Let's see, I'm going to have to adjust that one, I think. So this is very much a grid pattern. Without a grid, pretty much. Well, it's a dot grid. Okay. All right. So, whoops, forgot something. Now we're getting somewhere. All right. Okay. So now what do? Now, we're going to go back to the top where we started, right? And we are going to do this thing right here, going the other direction, right here in the middle. And this is where the lines from a square grid are really helpful for me, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to realize that these are the dots that I'm going to be connecting right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 4 dots. Try to get them parallel. Then I'm going to make this stroke. Actually, let's go through and draw this first. So I'm going to go through each one of these and put in my little dots. Okay. And here too, and we're going to put 2 down here. Let's see, about like that. And see if that's long enough. I think it will be. Okay, and here again. Again, these can be the length or the size that you want. They don't have to be perfect. That's great news for me. Sort of a square within a square. All right, so now that we have these all drawn in this way, and this was what Linda Farmer was suggesting for this, and this works very well. Now we're going to turn our tile or leave it the way it is, whatever, And we're going to make another well stroke. Okay, so we're going to come from this one. We're going to come, let's see, so this goes this way, this goes this way, this goes this way, and this goes this way. All right. Now I just made this really skinny and I didn't mean to. So really try to aim towards the end of this line more. You'll have more room there. Because we're going to want some room to play. All right. So tip, you don't want to make these too far up. Where was my first one that I did? Right here. See how far that went? It looks weird. So, hi Simba. Simba's in the house. Woo woo. We're going to say hi to Petey the pug, who is a cute little thing. And to Zizi, who is gorgeous. She looks like a wolf or a husky or something shepherdy. She is beautiful. So, woof to all of our puppy friends. All right. So, these should just be little slivers, not wedges, Cindy. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Better. Better. And now aim the same space or the same place. Right? And ink the end. And I just told you to keep it simple. It's a good thing I don't follow my advice, isn't it? All right. All right, now let's move down and do this one. This is much less confusing to approach it in this way. At least it is for me. And I can actually get into a Zen flow this way without worrying about, okay, now what do I do? I can't figure it out. It's too confusing. So hopefully you will find this less confusing. The stuff Jody comes up with amazes me. All right, let's do this one. And you don't have to worry about where your well strokes go either, you know. So the way we are drawing it, we are almost forgetting about well. Although understanding well is important to understanding this. All right, one more. Yeah. There. Now, about the edges. Let's figure out what we need to bring this to the edges, okay? This middle part is done. Yeah? This middle part is done. Wasn't that easy? I thought it was easy, okay? So now we do need help with our well. So let's go over here. On this one, we went long ways, or we went vertically here, horizontally here, vertically here. So now we need horizontal. So I'm going to once again start like this. I need to stop getting wimpy on my stroke over there. And I'm going to, whoops, and 2 triangular. Cindy. This is a pattern you do not want to learn on a tile, guys. Please put this in your sketch pads and practice it a couple of times before you try to do it on a tile. Although I think you might be able to do it. I don't know. I think people are intimidated by this, and they shouldn't be. Okay, so I need a long one here, so I'm just going to put my... Right. Okay, sorry. Okay, so now I'm going to do this. Okay. And down here, we went vertically here, horizontally here. So now we're going to want to go horizontal again. And I already have my dots drawn in, although they're not even. So I'm going to do vertically. Yep. And let's do this over here. So that was sloppy. Okay, so vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. So this one will go vertical again. So this is why this drawn in square grid makes it so much easier. It's not that I'm trying to make trouble, but we always know where the center point is to line things up everywhere. So it just makes it easier, but you don't have to use it. Okay, it's not necessary to do that, to have them. And again, a lot of you are much better with me than me at spatial orientation tasks, getting things lined up. And so I think you guys in particular are going to have a really easy time with this. So this one is going to be horizontal. All right, and so this is horizontal, so this will be vertical. Okay, now this is horizontal, or horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical. So we want horizontal again. Okay, vertical here. Remember, you want sort of curves ever so slightly. I mean, just slightly inward on these. Whoops, wrong way. Okay, and got that one pointed the wrong way and too wide. There, close enough. Okay, this will be horizontal. And by having already drawn the center part, then we're able to easily figure out what to do the rest of the time. Okay, so horizontal, vertical. So this will be horizontal. or vertical, depending on what side you're looking at. We got the Snore King going on in here. Well, that's the Queen, of course. Of course it is. Thank you, River, for sharing your puppy love with us today. I'm just going to go through here and ink these orbs. I might drop a little jelly roll in there later. I don't know. We'll see how we turn out. Now, for this video, we are not going to decorate this. At least I'm not going to do that with you. The tangle itself is intense enough that by the time we finish, we'll probably be at an hour since we're already at 36 minutes. So that's as far as we'll go today. But I just wanted you to know how really simple this is. Now I want to change to my 01 in brown. Well, got every other number but 01. There it is. And the last step to this is to aura everything. So you're just going to aura each line, and how you know where to aura, just go around everything. Oh, this is sepia, isn't it? So we are going to aura everything here. You don't have to pay attention to what you're doing or where you're doing it. You want an aura line on everything. Okay? If it doesn't have one, put one in. If you're confused about the side, it should become clear. Okay? There is rhyme and reason to this. This is going to enhance the overlapping quality. Well, if you do it correctly, that is. As always, I'm a work in progress. So just take some deep breaths and relax. Should have done that earlier. Cindy. Focus on each pen stroke. If you have a line, aura it. You run into your lines, just lift your pen and go behind. I'm sure I will find all kinds of places where I have forgotten or missed one, but don't sweat it, we'll find them. They'll come to light. I figure if I pretend that it will be gone, then it will be. Maybe not. Yeah, so burst pipes, not my favorite thing. Now, the larger and farther apart you put your dots, the more decorating room you're going to have. if that's what you want to do. This pattern is just made for embellishments. This is a very similar process as in Crazy Huggins, or the regular Huggins even. Also a close cousin to this. Simba. Simba. Let's not chase any squirrels right now, baby. Just follow your lines. You've got a line there, follow it. If it looks like it goes beneath or behind, that's a good thing. Wow, that was creative. Good thing I like that. Well, I am really going all over the place with my auras today, but I know you guys are doing a much better job with yours. I almost did this on a box back, but I couldn't find one. But we do get groceries today, so hopefully there'll be a box of some kind in there. At least I hope we get them. Sometimes it's hit or miss. Oh, Cindy, I'm so disappointed. This kind of thing frustrates me, and so I'm going to stop and take a deep breath. One more. Okay. Let's relax that arm. Try to find our focus again and start again. Relax my pen. Relax my hold on my pen. Slow down. There is no need to rush this, Cindy. If it's over an hour, it's over an hour. It's gonna be fine. Much better. I am so excited to see what you guys do with this. I had a huge grin on my face yesterday when I started going through all of the tagged art that you guys have left for me on my clipboard on Instagram. And it was inspirational that Simba, hey, wake up. It was inspirational. I mean, some of you guys just wow me. Who is it? Zen Clover in Overijssel, is that how you say it? In the Netherlands? Wow. Just wow. You guys need to find her and look at her art. She has tagged me, so it should be in on my profile in that little section over there, third section over next to where what I have posted. There's another section. If you tap on that, then you can see what all of y'all have done. And oh my gosh, wow. You guys are amazing. Kim Eliant, dude. This guy had such an amazing wheels tile that I am going to ask him for permission to share it with you guys. If you haven't seen his his tiles on Instagram. Take a look for him. Kim is amazingly talented, and I am so humbled to have people like Zen Clover and Kim, and so many of you other ones. Polly Heinzelman, you have just blossomed as an artist, honey, and I'm so proud of you and the courage that you have to open that Instagram account, get it going. Yes, Nancy, I know. I am working on it. It's just so hard. It's just so hard to fit anything else in during the 100 days, but I will get it done, I promise you. So drawing in these are wonderful. It's so relaxing to not worry about where you're going, just following the lines, focusing on each stroke of the pen, not worrying about the outcome. Kim also sent me a tile that he said that he really had not liked, but that he finished it up anyway, like I had been encouraging you guys to do, and he got an amazing result. So listen to me when I tell you, don't prejudge your outcomes. Always, always finish your tile first. Hold it out at arm's length, and then decide if you like it or not. And if you don't, ask yourself, what could I do to make this more interesting, more dynamic? Doesn't necessarily mean adding ink, though it could. You guys saw for yesterday's video with 7-flower that I added color. I had not intended to add color, but the reason I did it was the same reason I did it with DZ, and that was that the flower pattern was lost on the background, and I needed to pull it forward into the foreground, and color is a great way to do that. I'm not trying to frustrate you guys by not doing it on camera. It really is something I decide as I shade, and because the shading was not effective enough to make that happen. Now, I could stop here, or I could take these corners and finish them out. For example, oh, I shouldn't have drawn my auras in then. Well, decision made, I've done it. It's done, can't be undone. All right. Oh, I missed one right here. There. Now, let's shade. And I am going to lift my pencil off. I know I'm a very bad Zentangle teacher right now, but I'm going to lift that off simply because it's going to interfere with the shading on the rest. It's not that I mind the lines so much as it's going to distract, I think. And again, we don't have to use the penciled lines if we don't want to on this. The technique is going to remain the same. I just think it's going to make your life a lot easier if you do. But again, you do not have to do that. I can do that since there's no pencil on there. Okay. All right, here we are. I think that's good enough. This is where we're at. So for shading, as I have been teaching you with things that overlap, you're always going to want to shade, and this is true for the aura lines in this pattern as well. You're always going to want to shade or aura on these lines. The side that you shade on is the opposite side of where you have aura'd, okay? So on this line, we have aura'd this side. we're going to shade here. Okay. This line, we have arid on this side, so we're going to shade on the other side. Okay, that might help you to know where to do that. All right. All right. So everywhere opposite the auras. The shading is what's really going to make this look woven, even though the ink work is very good at that on this pattern, which is a help. The shading will just really enhance that quality. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you guys, I am going to leave in the description below this video, I'm going to leave a link to my Amazon storefront. And on there, you're going to find all of the tools and things that I use on this channel, and with the exception of my easel. And that is from a lady here named Annette in the United States. I have provided everyone who has asked with a link to her site, but you can just Google Danette's Pyro, let's see, Danette Smith. Her name is Danette Smith, and it's called Pyro and Easel. She's a pyrographer, a wood burner. And so you can find her by Googling her really easily, which is how I get the link every time. I just Google her. The only problem is I've had several of you in Europe that are wanting one, and I don't believe that she ships to Europe at this point. I can't say enough about how much this has helped me with my neck, back, and shoulder pain, having this little easel, because the top adjusts height, and it makes drawing on my lap much easier. I can even recline down and have it sit up enough for me to draw from a almost prone position, and so that's pretty cool. And it has a little wood stopper that will stop it from turning if you're doing something like this. And that does make that annoying sound go away. But I love the fact that it will turn. That makes all things Zentangle much easier. It's large enough you can set a sketch pad on it. And even though the layer of whatever they had on the top has long since worn off, this thing traveled to CZT training with me, so it's pretty easy to handle. All right, I think I just need a few more spots. And guys, if I have forgotten one, which I almost certainly have somewhere, I know that I will find it. Don't worry about it too much. I know it makes people's OCD crazy. I'm the same way, just so you know. All right. On my storefront, I've got everything from tiles and tortillons to, what else? My pencil sharpener is on there. The F pencils I use, you have to buy those in a set of 12, but then you won't have to be buying pencils for a long time to come after that. Or you can buy them in a pencil set, but same difference. I mean, I might as well have 12 of the F pencils than one F pencil and a bunch of other ones I'll never use. That's how I look at it. I've also got a variety of colored pencils up there you can look at. Prismacolors right now are really reasonably priced. They're about, I think they were under 90, they were like $93 or something for a full 150 pencil set. That's an excellent deal. I also put the Amazon Basics pencils on there so that you could find a link to those if you're interested. And I've got my Polychromos pencils on there too. There are all types of Zentangle tiles. I've also got on there that Zentangle sells through Amazon a hardback journal, which is basically a hardback with extra pages or pages in it that are colored. So it's a mixture of tan, gray, black, that and cream. I think they have maybe a couple of shades of white or off-white or something like that. So it's really cool. As soon as I can afford one, I'm going to get one so that I can draw on colored paper all the time. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, the Zentangle primer is on there, or primer. I forgot a spot right there, didn't I? I'll add some in. And of course, I will reshade this. Now, normally I would, well, I missed a couple of spots over here. Where's the pencil? Normally I would definitely want to decorate this with you, and if we did it in a project, I would. But for a daily video, I think we've bitten off enough, and that's something you guys are perfectly capable of decorating with. We'll talk about that here in just a second as soon as I finish blending everything out. We probably have to do some graphite cleanup. I think I'll go ahead and blend my border line. I think that'll give it a good look. Probably will find my jelly roll for that poor thing. Well, so I'm pretty excited about having a place where you guys can just go and find the stuff that I'm using. I think that's going to be a lot easier for everyone. And on the high side, and this is my disclosure, that I do earn a commission off anything you buy by clicking on my storefront and then purchasing, then I earn a small commission. Of course, you don't pay for that. Amazon does, and trust me, they can afford it. Just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding, but you know, I'm just playing around. Because I am incapable of being serious for too long. I think it's a defense mechanism. If people are laughing, then they're not upset, and that's good for me. I like to make people happy. All right, well, we definitely need some cleanup in spots here as far as erasing goes. This one in particular got a little bit out of hand. I forgot to blend one. Okay. Oh, any of them that got out of control. My Mono Zero is in that store as well, if you're interested in getting one of those. I might have, at this rate, I might have to get one for myself. No, it's over here somewhere. It's in the pit of despair. My aide has not been able to come in for the last 2 weeks because of the weather. And so it has been, you know, I'm going to need her to help me dig out of around here. She's a lovely person. Her name is Avery. She is a sweetie. I like nice people. All right. Okay, so this is where I'm going to stop with you guys today. Let's just at least talk about some decorating ideas, okay? When you're creating your tile, here where we put the dots, yeah, and then sort of put a curved line, the closer to your well dots that you make these, the more of a room, the more of a wider space you're going to have on these middle parts, right? And if you pay attention to that, then you can get them all about the same size, all right? So that's what I really did on this one. I really paid attention to giving myself extra room here to decorate. And so on this tile, I tried flux, I tried poke leaf, and I tried sand swirl, which is why we ended up doing it that next day. And this is batten, okay? All of these will do very well. My suggestion for decorating, though, is that you use busy tangles going one way and something light and decorative going the other way. Does that make sense? That way, the ones that are really decorative are going to pop out, and the ones that are simply designed are just going to enhance it. If we have something busy going both ways, like, for example, if I put more flux in here, you know, we would lose our pattern, I think. That's my opinion, though. And you don't have to do what I say. You guys know this. Do your own thing. So this is where we're at today with What the Well. I really want to know in comments if you guys were helped by this drawing method for What the Well. If it helped you, then I really want to know. I'm considering sending it in to Linda Farmer and seeing if she wants to add it, a link to it to the video. But I want to the step out. But I want to know from you guys if you were able to follow these instructions and get something that's something like this. Okay? All right. Thanks so much for being with me today, guys, and I'm going to see you tomorrow.